We are a few days into a brand new meta in Marvel Snap, and this hybrid Phoenix Force zombies list has incredible game into some of the top contenders of the metagame and has a free roll for the most part into Arishem. This list dodges tech cards, crushes Arishem and Thanos lists, and has enough unpredictable play lines without being too complex to play that you're going to have your opponents wondering, what are you doing, where's your power going to go, and exactly what game plan you're committing to output them. I've been playing this list a lot over the past week. This was created by Jet, the resident Phoenix Force expert in Marvel Snap, and I've been having a ton of fun on Ladder and Conquest. And if you watch this video, watch this guide, you'll be able to know exactly what you need to do to take this, hit infinite, push your infinite leaderboard rank to your new record, or if you're just trying to hit rank 60 to get that free variant, this list is there to help you achieve all of those goals. So holistically, this deck combines the Phoenix Force game plan, which, Phoenix Force season pass from the summer a few years back, with the zombie package cards that came out in October. This also has an incredible Cassandra Nova backup plan that can free roll Arishem and Thanos lists while also having respectable point outputs even if you're just going in on the zombie package. By combining the zombie package and the Phoenix Force approach, you have some pretty unpredictable play lines and ability to bring back really strong on reveal cards and have their abilities proc multiple times with Firehair. Firehair is really the card that connects both of these game plans together. You're doing things like your dream plan is that you're drawing into your Hunger, your Zombie Scarlet Witch, cards like that early, Kid Omega, and then on turn 5, you are going to blow up Kid Omega, or excuse many people probably want to blow up Kid Omega, but you're going to blow up your Zombie Giant Man with Kid Omega and then have Firehair on the board in a different location than Kid Omega. So Kid Omega gets the Zombie Giant Man proc. Firehair repeats that again, and then you could also do a Phoenix Force or an Elixir on turn 6 to either bring back that Zombie Giant Man in some way and just get a lot of massive power output. Of course, this also works with doing it to Cassandra Nova. Granted, if you're trying to do the Cassandra Nova route and you're not playing Arishem, typically you want to have her down much earlier, but that's where cards like Venom come in, and they're also just, you kind of don't notice it as much when you're not playing Destroy, I find, but there are so many locations that can destroy cards or benefit from having just destroy cards out there that this list is able to tap into. So you're either you're destroying stuff with Venom, Misery, or Kid Omega, you're reprocking that destroy effect with Firehair, and you are either bringing back those cards with Elixir or Phoenix Force, and you're just having a very respectable and powerful points package with cards like Kitty Pryde, Hunger, and your zombie package to Zombie Scarlet Witch. The connective tissue of this deck is really strong. Jet is an absolute wizard with Phoenix Force and has been for so long. So seeing this list come together, I'm typically not a Phoenix Force gamer. I was not a big, Phoenix Force into multiple man, move those cards around. But this resurrection, this feels like the Kid Omega Nimrod list that came out around Kid Omega's release, but without just going all in on the Kid Omega destroy plan. You cannot see Kid Omega and still win. You cannot see some of your zombie packages and still win. I have a short on my channel that I'll try to remember to link in the description, where I was able to get 8 cubes off an Arishem player, and they played Cosmic Ghost Rider against me. They were legioning. They Shang-Chi'd me on turn 6. They Shang-Chi'd a big, I think it was, I destroyed my Cassandra Nova with a Venom, and then they Shang-Chi'd my Venom, and then I was able to bring back the Cassandra Nova with an Elixir and a Phoenix Force in the other 2 lanes. So we lost the left big time, but we won both of the others. So you're able to dodge tech in fun ways too, once you get comfortable with the play lines. So overall, quick summary of the overall deck guide. You are trying to merge the zombie points package with the destroy functionality from Phoenix Force, and the connective tissue between those two is the card Firehair. Firehair I was not a big believer on when she came out. I did end up picking her up. This is the most fun and the most competitive a Firehair list has felt pretty much in forever. So without further ado, let's jump into the card by card breakdown. That's always what I feel is the best way to do a deck deep dive on this and really understand how this all goes together. going through the cards one at a time. So let's dive into it. You're going to love this deck. I've been having so much fun with it. You'll have fun with it. And when I say fun, I mean winning pretty consistently. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I lost 30 cubes today and my rank plummeted, but I had a good time. No, this is a PvP only game. At the end of the day, we want to be winning, and this deck helps you do that in some very creative ways. So the Hunger. The Hunger is an awesome one-drop card. Ideally, you're able to save this until after you have your Zombie Scarlet Witch card down, but this is a phenomenal turn 1 play. I have to remember about the Horde mechanic is that when you play the Hunger, let's say into the left location, it's always going to go into one of the other two. So just be mindful of that. Like you wanna, if you've got a whatever the location is that gives you a free energy if you have no cards there, and you're playing the Hunger, make sure you play the Hunger in that location so your Horde goes somewhere else. You want to be mindful of what cards are going where, how you're preparing for that sort of thing, and the Hunger is a huge spike on the Horde, and oftentimes it will be your first available chance to get your Horde out onto the board. So in that situation, just be careful where you play this. Ideally, you're able to play this after a Zombie Scarlet Witch is down. If you play this into a Zombie Scarlet Witch location, it is effectively playing for a 1/5 that doesn't take up space, and that can just feel phenomenal. If you want to do Horde stuff, I feel very strong about you needing to have the Hunger, and this is just a big card to be able to make that happen. Horde without the Hunger, even with the buff Zombie Scarlet Witch and Zombie Giant Man, just doesn't quite feel as good. So the Hunger, great card. You really need it for anything to do with zombies. Next on the list is Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde, what a storied card in the history of Marvel Snap. There was good chunks of time where this was the best card in the game, the patient zero of the entire metagame. And I remember when Second Dinner put out patch notes when they nerfed her to be a 1/0 with +1 each turn. The way they worded it read like they were rotating her out of the game, as if this was a more traditional CCG or TCG game with rotations. And Kitty Pryde feels great in this list. The zombie cards feel excellent. You can see Lockheed up here on her right arm. He's coming out in January. I just did a video the other day on the channel about some of those data mines. Lockheed looks great. But anyway, Kitty Pryde in this list. This is just a reliable turn 1 play, and her main situation usefulness here is playing her into Zombie Scarlet Witch. Additionally, and this doesn't come up a ton, but Kitty Pryde can also, if you're seeing a lot of Negasonic in your metagame, this deck has a lot of cards that you very much care about having on the board. Kitty Pryde can also be bait for Negasonic, bait for like, oh, the next card that's played here. You can use her to just weave in and out of your play lines, and it can make her feel, you sacrifice Kitty Pryde, but you're able to keep your Venom alive that you've played, that you're trying to do to absorb Cassandra Nova and get her into the destroy pile. Kitty Pryde's great. She's mainly there to tap off of Zombie Scarlet Witch and keep that thing going. But overall, nice card, supports your zombie package. It's a nice little just consistent play line that your opponent's going to have to worry about. We don't have any 6-drops in this list. So at the end of, your turn 6, if things go a specific way, could easily just be Zombie Giant Man and Kitty Pryde. You can be playing a 1/5 Kitty Pryde with another one of your cards at the end of the game, and she feels very strong in that respect. So yes, Kitty Pryde, in conclusion, very nice card in this list. Feels a little bit extraneous at times, but great for your Horde game plan, zombie procking, great for the little Negasonic dodge, even though that is niche. And because we aren't running 6-drops, if you're not playing a 4 and a 2, and if you just have opportunity to weave her in on curve, she can be a very above rate 1-cost card that your opponent just has to account for and can spread power out around the board. Next, Kid Omega. Kid Omega. People talk about, now that we're getting towards the end of 2025, what's the card of the year? What's this? What's that? And even though Iron Patriot, Sam Wilson are big, it's kind of hard to imagine any other card except Kid Omega being the card that defined Marvel Snap in 2025. His release was so controversial. He, at the time, the decks that KM and Regis did when people were all upset at them for breaking strike, blah, 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 whatever. This card was very strong. Those decks felt great. But now that he is more readily available, this is the best Kid Omega list I've seen in quite some time. So again, what Kid Omega is here to do is being your activate destroy. Ideally, you are using him after you have Firehair on the board, and the dream playline is you have spent most of the game building up your zombie horde with cards like Zombie Mr. Fantastic, Zombie Scarlet Witch, you know the routine, and then on turn 5, you destroy Kid Omega, excuse me, I keep doing that. You destroy Zombie Giant Man with Kid Omega while you have Firehair in another location. Zombie Giant Man reveals, makes your horde big. Kid Omega destroys that, takes its power. Firehair copies the on reveal text of Zombie Giant Man, makes the horde bigger, absorbs that. Then going into turn 6, you're either elixiring back the Zombie Giant Man or you are Phoenix Forcing it back. Noted on turn 6, because Phoenix Force doesn't have the last turn condition that Omega does, you could destroy Zombie Giant Man going into turn 6 and have, Phoenix Force doing that, but you're not going to have 11 energy doing that anyway, so that's a moot point. You want to do that on turn 5. Kid Omega could also destroy a Cassandra Nova or just be the condition to get a destroy done if you need that and you're trying to go for a Phoenix Force endgame, but he feels at his best when you are using him to destroy Zombie Giant Man, bar none. Again, unless you are playing an Arishem gamer, Kid Omega is there to really destroy Zombie Giant Man. Cassandra Nova is a fine backup, but yeah, this card feels great in this list. You can throw him into a Zombie Scarlet Witch location, and sometimes people think the Zombie Scarlet Witch location is going to be the location you're throwing just because you're building up so much power with your zombie horde, and like, how are you realistically going to contest this location? But when Kid Omega absorbs Zombie Giant Man's power after you've been building up that horde the whole game, it can just feel so threatening. Zombie Mr. Fantastic. So this is another horde card. I think, this card on paper should be way better than it really is just across the board. If you get the whole maximal value, he's on reveal is basically playing for a 2/4 by doing horde +2. And if you have the other condition of created cards out on the board, he can play for a 2/8, which is incredible stat lines, but it can be a little bit difficult to do. This is a card that you can get into a location where you're planning on miserying. You want to stack your on reveals that you want to destroy, like Zombie Mr. Fantastic, Cassandra Nova, and then you've got Firehair, another location. You play misery on both of those. Misery destroys them. Their effects happen again. Firehair copies those effects. It feels fantastic. No pun intended, and I do mean that, but there you go. That's as good of a segue as we're going to get away from Zombie Mr. Fantastic. You definitely want this card to really maximize the list, but please leave a comment if you want to talk about replacements. I feel like most people have the other zombie cards, but if there's a zombie card they did skip, it's probably Mr. Fantastic. Elixir. This is another card that I had skipped for forever, but after I picked up Kid Omega and wanted to do the Nimrod list that was going around, I picked him up. Elixir is just chef's kiss amazing in this list. When you are following your game plan of destroying a Zombie Giant Man on 5 and then you can elixir that back for 2 on 6, it's so awesome. And because let's say you're playing in a Death's Domain or an Altar of Death or an area where like if you play a card in there it gets destroyed, you can play Elixir and it's like Jubilee. It'll bring that back and Elixir gets destroyed, but you can bring back your 40 power Cassandra Nova against that Arishem player and it feels excellent. Phoenix Force can sometimes feel more useful because Elixir does have that condition of the cards that was destroyed last turn. So you can't destroy a card on the same turn you bring it back with Elixir. Elixir has to be used the turn after a card was destroyed. So that, again, when you're trying to do this list, which primary plan A game plan is destroying Zombie Giant Man on 5, bringing him back that way feels excellent. You could do the same thing with Cassandra Nova. It really is just put this deck through its paces, go in Conquest, test it out a little bit, especially if the hot location is Black Vortex like it is today as I'm recording this. But yes, he feels great. He is another way you can juke people around. People are probably not expecting Elixir, especially if it's their first time playing against this deck, and you can get some surprise 4 and 8 cube wins just by elixiring in the right place. Firehair. This in my mind is the Firehair list right now. You don't want to be doing stuff with the Thors and Beta Ray Bill. I'm sorry to people who like that deck. It is very cool, but it is not that strong. We have so many great on reveals that Firehair would love to absorb from being destroyed, and we have so many ways to bring them back with cards like Elixir, with cards like Phoenix Force, that when they're in the destroy pile, it doesn't matter. This is the card that really connects the zombie on reveal plan A with the Phoenix Force resurrection game plan, and is also, worthwhile for the backup plan of Cassandra Nova. You're destroying a Cassandra Nova, Firehair's proccing it again, gaining power. You're destroying a zombie Mr. Fantastic, she's proccing it again, adding power to the Horde. Same thing with zombie Giant Man. There are so many good hits for her in this list. And you could also, you're not just relying on Misery or Kid Omega. You can Venom a whole location that has zombie Mr. Fantastic, Cassandra Nova, and she's popping off all of those. You play this card down and make sure you're not putting her in a location that already has a grower like Kid Omega. You want to have her off in some other location, so they're going to have to deal with that and be like, okay, I might have to commit my Shadow King here versus over here, because they're going to destroy that card and she's going to get Giant too. Even though this is very clearly not a move deck, even though Phoenix Force has the text move in it, you're able to move power around so easily by virtue of destroying cards. Firehair feels great in this list. This is easily the most fun I've had with a Firehair list since her release, and it feels fantastic. Cassandra Nova, our backup game plan. So this is also our backup game plan in most decks, but when you're playing Arishem and you draw Cassandra Nova and you have either a way to destroy her and bring her back, that's kind of a snap condition. It feels you really have to lean into this. Arishem's got so many cards. They're often running Thanos Arishem. You could even say this for a turn 6 play for, a 319 or whatever. But even if you're not playing Arishem, if you start noticing, like, I'm not drawing into my zombie Giant Man, I'm not getting a lot of Horde cards, playing down Cassandra Nova, miserying that card on 4, and then bringing it back with Phoenix Force or Elixir on 5, that's still like what is that? A 310 in your a 311 in your discard pile that you're bringing back. It feels great. It's awesome to be able to move this around with Phoenix Force or cheat it into areas that might get destroyed with Elixir. Even though I do say this is a backup plan because this is a zombie plus Phoenix Force deck at the end of the day, this card feels so excellent to play. Even just an on-rate 3/6 that makes the rest of your opponent's draws 1 power weaker. That's a really powerful card. I feel like Cassandra Nova is slept on a little bit or just not hated enough. This is one of my most hated cards in the game, and it feels excellent here. Cassandra Nova backup plan is barely a plan B. It's more like a plan A-. Feels excellent. Venom. We need more cards that destroy stuff to be able to activate our Firehair, be able to do stuff with Phoenix Force and Elixir, and just getting more stuff into the discard or destroy pile so we can bring them back. Venom does that, and Venom can be really great because there are some situations where you have really large bodies with your, like if you're playing against Arishem and you've got Cassandra Nova down, it doesn't always feel great to misery that because you're getting rid of that power, but Venom can then absorb that 323 and become a 326 and still get Cassandra Nova into the destroy pile for you to be able to bring it back again with an Elixir, with a Phoenix Force. So the difference between Venom and Misery in this list is if you actually care and you're like, hey, I've got good power on the board that I want to keep, and I need to destroy things to be able to get my game plan going again, but I don't want to, just throw them in the destroy pile with Misery because 8 power is not making it up enough here. Venom is the better way to destroy. Of course, you're not playing your on reveals again, but it lets you keep the power on the board, lets you not throw that location with only 8 power. It says, hey, Cassandra Nova or Zombie Giant Man, if I cheated him out early, they're in the destroy pile now. I got a way to bring them back, but you still have to worry about this location because it's got 21 power instead of 8 in it. Love Venom here. Like this variant, I've got him too. Zombie Scarlet Witch, the crux of the Horde game plan. Getting this card down on 3 feels wonderful for this list. You're playing the Horde on her, your Kitty on her, you got Kid Omega down on her too. You're destroying. You're very comfortable playing stuff that you're going to destroy, like playing Zombie Scarlet Witch, Cassandra Nova, Misery feels fine too. If you're not destroying Zombie Scarlet Witch, she has no on reveal. She is the engine for your Horde package here, and That's how you're able to get stuff where it feels worthwhile to destroy a zombie giant man with a Kid Omega on turn 5, because zombie Scarlet Witch is playing cards, having cards played into it to make your horde huge. Phoenix Force. Now, I am typically not the biggest Phoenix Force believer, but this list from Jet just feels fantastic with her. When you're able to destroy zombie giant man on turn 5 and bring it back with the Phoenix Force and have that on reveal come back again and do that again, you're getting such massive hordes here. As a 4/5, it's decent stat lines to merge into. And yeah, it is nice to be playing a merge list that isn't, what's his name, Man-Spider, and she feels great here. You're doing that with Cassandra Nova. You're doing that with Zombie Giant Man. Sometimes you're doing that with a Zombie Mr. Fantastic, and it feels decent, not the best, but you can feel okay because you've got your Fire Hair benefiting from all those destroy procs you've accumulated throughout the game. Phoenix Force is great in this list. This is probably the best Phoenix Force list, bar none. Misery, another one of our destroyers, and has a very unique repeat the on reveal abilities of your cards here. This can be very helpful again when you have Fire Hair on the board. That's typically when miserying feels better than venoming, because when you repeat the on reveals, you're double dipping on that. Zombie Mr. Fantastic is going to do his on reveal again, get destroyed, and then you're getting to repeat them twice, because then Fire Hair sees that the card's been destroyed and then repeats the on reveal again. Same thing with Cassandra Nova. Oh, Cassandra Nova was a 3/20 because I'm playing Arishem. Misery's going to destroy that, and then Fire Hair is going to crock it again. Now Fire Hair is a 3/23 or whatever, and then next turn you're bringing it back with Elixir, Phoenix Force, and then you've got all this different power spread out. Misery's very strong. It's just a skill testing aspect of this list will be knowing when do I want to misery a location and when do I want to venom it. Typically venom matters when you care about having the power in that location. Maybe it's things that got changed into a Nexus late game, whatever the reason may be. Venom keeps your power. Misery is going to spread power into other locations for the most part with this list. Misery's fun. I need to get a good variant from her that doesn't cost 1,200 gold. Last but not least, Zombie Giant Man. You've heard me say it multiple times throughout the video, but I just cannot emphasize it enough. The plan A game plan for this list is get your Kid Omega down, build up your horde, destroy a Zombie Giant Man on turn 5, so Kid Omega absorbs the power, Fire Hair absorbs the power, and you bring this guy back with Phoenix Force or Elixir on turn 6, and you've got a massive zombie horde, a massive Zombie Giant Man, a massive Fire Hair, and a massive Kid Omega. They can only Shang-Chi, Shadow King, and they're only playing Shang-Chi and Shadow King if they're Arishem on turn 7. They can only do that in 2 locations max, and their sequencing might be wrong, so you could still win even if they are perfect rolling into that. This deck feels fantastic. Zombie Giant Man at 3k tokens is an easy buy if you have any interest in the zombie package whatsoever, and I love this list. That has been the rundown of the card by card breakdown here. If you have watched Alex Coach's top 10 decks of the week video that just came out earlier today at the time of recording, great video, I imagine you did watch it. He had Arishem at the very top of that list. This deck free rolls into Arishem. If you see Arishem, you can kind of sigh of relief because you draw Cassandra Nova and it's kind of GG. They don't have a way to deal with that, especially if you're destroying it and getting her off the board to dodge tech and then bringing it back again later. So with that, we're going to jump into some gameplay highlights so you can see this deck in action. If you want to see more in-depth deck guides, card reviews that care about your token collection, and just get more strategy tips for you to hit infinite, push the infinite rank leaderboards, or achieve whatever your goals are in Marvel Snap, please subscribe. Like the video, it helps out a lot. We are a new channel, and the positive response we've been seeing has just been excellent. Please leave me a comment letting me know what you think of this list, or if you just don't even want to talk about Marvel Snap, we can talk about how great FLCL is, your favorite 90s indie rock, meal prep recipes, or if you don't want to just talk about this list, if you're a newer player, if you're any player skill level and you just have a question about Marvel Snap, please leave a comment. I will get back to you. We'll talk, have a great time. And again, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Kicker of Elves. This has been a rundown of Jet's Zombie Phoenix Force deck, and I hope you're able to use this to crush the ladder like I've been doing. I'll see you next time. Let's go into those gameplay highlights. See ya. So this is a good opening hand. We've got our Fire Hair. We've got a on reveal Zombie Mr. Fantastic, not our favorite to get. Ooh, okay. That does feel nice. I would like to get... Let's think this through. I'm down to get Zombie Mr. Fantastic down early here. Just start pumping that up. Okay. Okay. Ancient one. I mean, that's gotta be... No, Camp Lehigh. Interesting. Okay, so... we snap on this. We don't snap on this yet. Ooh, this is a tough call. We Fire Hair. We Kid Omega. And then we snap because we're going to be able to Kid Omega the Cassandra Nova. Fire Hair will also Cassandra Nova. And then Cassandra Nova is going to come back mid. Mockingbird's huge. Tau Mandala feels great. But unfortunately... To this opening hand. This is a Thanos deck. Oof, okay. Cloning Vats, Cassandra Nova, Venom. That's a snap. Yeah, we've got an entirely different line happening to us here. That's one of the fun things about this, is that by having that destroy splash with things like Venom, you get to benefit from cloning that from bar synastry. You have those kind of like, destroy is always very favored just because of how good it's like there's so many locations that favor it. The little splash of that, because we are Phoenix forcing, you know, gets us access to that area as well. They're snapping too. Do that. Zombie giant man. Close, but no cigar on the Galactus play. You gotta respect it, though. Zombie Scarlet Witch. I guess I can do this. Do we care about zombie stuff? Because next turn we'll be able to place 6 down. I think we just throw Cassandra Nova in the middle, and then maybe we get to Phoenix Force her back. If not, let's see. Because yeah, he's trying to move this silk. Just do that. Soul Stone. Punkomatic over here. Sunspot. Beautiful. Yeah, we've got this now. Is it in fact this? No, because you always, as you're getting used to this, if you're going to destroy something, you get fire hair down first, and we do this sort of thing. Because now we're just getting free real estate off of our zombie hordes. Boom, that blows up. And now if he blows up Cassandra Nova, I like this. I like this. Yeah, there's the retreat.